Hey guys, I don't know if you can see this on your computer screen, but this army sign, this army picture, is actually made up of a bunch of happy faces. So it's not really a military shirt. But today I will be talking about the rape that happened yesterday. I don't know if you know about this, but on Tuesday, 2 U.S. servicemen were arrested on suspicion of raping two 23-year-old servicemen were, I think they were in the Navy, were arrested on suspicion of raping a Japanese girl in her 20s. But before we get into that, I want to explain a little history, because I think it's important for you to understand the context of rape in Okinawa and why it's such a sensitive issue. You have to go back to 1995, and I was in Japan when this first happened. In 1995, 3 servicemen rented a van, kidnapped a 12-year-old Japanese girl. Get that through your heads. 12 years old, man. They kidnapped her. They bound her hand. They put duct tape on her mouth, on her eyes. And 2 of them raped her. And the third one claims he pretended to rape her because he was scared of one of the other guys. He thought, he's gonna beat me up, so he was scared. And that's just, that's just disgusting, right? So, because of an agreement that the American military has with the Japanese here, and there's actually a certain, what do you call it? It's called U.S.-Japan Status of Forces Agreement, and because of this, it's basically, I forgot the word, immunity, right? Basically, not immunity, but anything that the military does, the U.S. military reserves the right to try them themselves in a military court. And because of that, at first they refused to hand over the servicemen. A lot of people protested, and it was a big deal. And eventually, because of all the protests, and even Clinton got involved, I think it was, and he talked to the Prime Minister about this. They finally agreed to let the Japanese judicial system take care of it. And 2 of the guys got 7 years in jail, in prison. That was their sentence. And the other guy got 6.5 years. And I remember reading an article way back in the day when I was here, and someone pointed out that in U.S. military courts, when you're convicted of rape, it's usually the punishment is much worse, like 20 years, right? So these guys got off pretty light. And getting sent to a Japanese prison is not nearly as bad as getting sent to an American prison. I don't know about U.S. military prisons. I don't know about a man-on-man rape there, but in U.S. prisons, it's pretty bad, right? There's always stories about that, and the incidence is high. You can actually find sites on here on the internet, right, that talk about it's I think 3 times worse than rape, outside of prison, man-on-woman rape or something. I don't know, it's crazy. But anyway, so one of they got out in 2003, and one of the guys went on to protest. Prison conditions in Japan are so terrible. But one of my students was a prison guard. And what she told me was, and she was really sweet too. She was really nice and funny and friendly. She ended up marrying one of my friends, moving back to California. But she told me that it's very strict. They have a lot of rules, but there was one person to a room, and you could only read certain books, and you had to sit in seiza position, for certain hours of the day. And there wasn't a lot of talking allowed and stuff. There was a lot of rules, but it wasn't miserable. I hear people on death row though in Japan are basically going crazy, and activists are always protesting the treatment because they don't even know when they're going to die. But that's a whole different subject, so let's get back to this. So anyway, one of those guys in 2006 was arrested he killed a girl and then committed suicide. The guy who said he didn't do it, the first 3 guys. This is the 1995 incident, okay? So as a result, at that time, right after it, they interviewed, the press interviewed one of the top admirals or the guy in charge of that whole area. And they said, what do you think of this? And he said, well, it's stupid, of course. It's really stupid. I mean, for the amount of money they spent, they could have easily rented a prostitute. And of course, everyone thought that's insensitive, which it could be true, factually true, but it's a really stupid thing to say. And they... And he lost. He got decked. He got demoted, and he went from a $7,000 a month salary to $5,500 a month salary, kind of thing. So that kind of stuff happened. Anyway, that's 1995. Also in 1995, or right before 1995, the U.S. military occupied 21% of the Okinawa area. But after this incident, and many people say as a result of this incident, direct result, the amount was reduced to 19%, which as far as many Okinawans are concerned, is not enough. And now when this kind of thing happens, it just increases the the strength of the Okinawan position, which is let's get rid of the troops, U.S. out of Okinawa. Now, of course, a lot of Japanese recognize that from an international point of view, because of the threat of China and North Korea, that we need some U.S. military presence here, just kind of to show the world that, hey, you don't want to fuck with Japan, because they're our friends, right? You don't fuck with Japan. But when this kind of thing happens, you start thinking, well, you can't really blame the Japanese at all for wanting us out of here, right? And it's embarrassing as an American. I'm embarrassed. I just found out about this. I'm like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. I mean, even for even though, I have nothing to do with it, I've never been in the military, it's embarrassing as an American when this kind of stuff happens. And on top of this, right now, another controversy in Okinawa is the U.S. military is bringing in these Osprey airplane helicopter planes, right? And they don't want them there because there was an accident about a year ago or so, and an Osprey crashed. I don't think anybody was killed, but a house was destroyed, and everyone thinks they're not safe. They think that this is going to cause more problems. So anyway, so here's something else that's kind of interesting about this. There was I've been reading articles on this, and I'll link you in the description. The Japanese articles mention the servicemen right away, but the AP article doesn't even mention their names, right? Which is bizarre. Now, these two guys, this happened between 3 and 4 in the morning. They had arrived in Okinawa a few days ago. They're both 23 years old. And they were scheduled to go to Guam the next day. Isn't that amazing? Okay, here's a quote. Seaman Christopher Browning, 23, has denied the allegations, while Petty Officer 3rd Class Skylar Dozier Walker has admitted to them. So seaman, I guess in Japanese, would be, I made a note here. What is that? Jo Tohei. Jo Tohei is seaman. And the other guy is San Tohei So. And that would be Petty Officer 3rd Class, which was hard to find out, that kind of information. Not very important, and he's got a weird name, like he's a piece of furniture or something, right? Skylar Dozier Walker. What a bizarre name. I think that probably had something to do with his mind. I don't know. Names kind of screw you up, I think. Bullied a lot for that one. Anyway, so at the same time this is happening, the U.S. Marine Corps has deployed 12 MV-22 Ospreys at the Futemba Air Base, which is where all these controversies happen. So this is like the worst time for this to happen. And of course, the mayor of Okinawa, who appeared at the press conference wearing an Okinawan typical Hawaiian shirt type of thing, which I always think just seems kind of funny to say. I'm really angry when you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt, but that's neither here nor there. He said Zeku, which basically means I'm at a loss for words, and he says I'm really angry and pissed off. And they interviewed a few people around there. One young woman said, I'm really saddened by this, and of course this is unforgivable, and I can't blame her. And an older gentleman said, this is always going to happen as long as the military base is here. And I hate to tell you, but I guess it's true. Because as long as you put a bunch of men with their testosterone and that youth, testosterone fueling, and I don't know if you know about hormones, but when testosterone is next to more testosterone, it creates testosterone. So the highest sperm rate in the world is actually in prison because you have all those prisoners together with all that testosterone moving around. I'm not joking. This sounds kind of funny, but those guys are just, sperm-producing machines, which is just the evidence of testosterone presence, right? So I don't really know what the solution is. Education, or really just move. There must be some island in Japan where there are no Japanese that these sailors, these military can fuck with. Put them there. Don't let them mingle with the locals. I don't know. I don't know what we could possibly do. Of course, they were drunk. Alcohol was involved, which is usually the case, right? Not marijuana, right? And people ask me, what do I think? And I think it's disgusting. I like I said, I'm embarrassed to be an American. I'm sorry to Japan. I apologize on behalf of us. And I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, really? I mean, is there anything that can be done? Is it shoganai? Shoganai? Shoganai means can't be helped. I mean, we just have to put up with it because but we need the military there. I don't know, or should we change the constitution and let Japan have their own military, which of course would enrage China and South Korea and North Korea and all the Asian neighbors, because as soon as you do that, you put the fear of Japan's going to start invading countries again. Anyway, that's all I got to say about this. Sorry for the long video. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.